What's up, world? This is MC Till. Welcome to the Boom Bap Chat number 99. As I said, I am MC Till.
What's up, everybody? I'm your man, Profound.
I am Mas Mirage. What's happening, people?
What's up, man? I'm super excited about tonight. And this week, I have been on this native tongue book that we are trying to finish. We're almost there, and I've been working on that every little extra minute I have, just proofreading and editing and getting some final touches in there. So that's what I've been on this week. Profound, what have you been on, man?
Finishing the articles that I'm late turning in. uh, and becoming a grandfather, man. We're gonna have to talk about that, man,
Yes,
after the show.
yes,
Celebrate.
yes.
So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
on. I don't know how I feel about that, man. No, I'm playing, man. I feel great, man. To look like this and be an MC like I'm a grandfather, yo.
Yeah, man.
That's
Crazy,
Congrats.
dope.
but yeah. Ayo, what you been on, man?
Man, I had the privilege and the honor to interview Mike G of the Jungle Brothers for the Native Tongues book, and it was amazing, man. Like I'm really like still flying high off of that interaction with him. It was dope. It was dope. So that's what I've been on this week, man. Yeah,
Right on.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
cannot wait to check it out, and I cannot wait to get into our guest tonight. Recently created a really good album. It is the perfect blend of a stylish MC with something to say and a producer who knows how to capture that boom bap sound in a way that's raw and universal. We're going to talk about that album and much more right now. So please join me as we welcome to the Boom Bap Chat Vic Monroe and Tone Spliff.
Yeah. What up? Yeah.
Welcome, fellas.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We apologize that our
Thank
budget
you.
doesn't allow us to have an actual audience to clap for y'all. They clapping online.
It's
right.
But man,
all
we
good.
glad and welcome, man. Welcome,
Right.
bro.
Yeah.
Thank
all
you.
good.
Thank
It's all
you.
good.
It's so good to have you guys. We
Good.
like to show love and give our guests flowers and show appreciation. And the other day this question came. I don't know who posed it, but the question was, what's a recent album that came out that reminds you of not Midnight, Low End Theory? And I was like racking my brain, like, what's an album that came? I know there's an album that came out recently. And when I went back with that thought in mind, and I listened to your new album, Words to the Wise, I thought, you know what, this album kind of it reminds me of Low End Theory in some ways, because the brilliance to me of Low End Theory was how simple it sounded. I know it wasn't a simple process to produce, but it sounds so simple. It's not complex. It's simple, and it just feels so right. Everything just works together. Nothing's overproduced. There's no sounds that are like all over the place. Like everything just sounds just right. And that's what one of the things I take away from your new album. Everything sounds just right. Vic, your voice, meshing with the boom bap break beat type, drums, and the sampling, which is not too much, but it's not too little. It's just right. And the basses, everything just fits and sits well, like as a collective together. And so just wanted to share that with you all, say props. And I love the album and I appreciate y'all for making it.
Word. Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate that. I
man.
mean, yeah, Tribe is a big influence on me. So, I have, my production kind of varies. I have, different vibes, different beat styles. With Vic, like he's that dope of an MC where I needed to bring that type of production, I feel, because
Thank you.
I knew what he was gonna bring lyric wise, and I knew what I had to bring production wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to piggyback, like that's super huge that you're saying it, because just like Tone said, man, native tongues highly influenced. And matter of fact, big up to my man who was in these one Jungle Brothers. I started singing the Jungle Brothers. I forget the song. Remember that they had the song dun, 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 girl, I house you. You know what I'm saying? So just huge influence, man, native tongues. So for you to just compare that album, our album, with Tribe, Low Man Theory is amazing. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Word. Thank you.
Thanks for that album. So we have a few kind of standard questions we'd like to ask our guests, and I'll start off with just kind of a production question to you first, Tone, and then Vic, you can jump in as well. That term boom bap is used quite frequently. You see it around. I mean, this is the boom bap chat. We use the term. When you hear boom bap, like what comes to mind, and how would you describe boom bap?
Just hard drums, hard snare, very chop samples. It doesn't necessarily have to be chop samples, but chop samples, kind of give me that vibe. And, producers that come to mind would be like Primo and, Large Professor and cats like that, Dilla and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you'd add, Vic?
Yeah. I mean, say that boom bap, that's what brought everybody, to the park. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if you can take it back to, you could take it back, to like the motherland, like when they would beat on their drum, that's what brought everybody from the village to wherever they was meeting. And it's that same drum. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just a different form of it, but it's the same vibe. It just brings everybody together. You know what I'm saying? So and it's just nasty and funky and all that good shit. But that's what it is.
I like that. And just the idea of like ongoing. It connects ancestry, it connects generations. The rhythm of the drum. Profam, anything lyrical?
Yeah, I got a boom bap. I was just thinking like. And this is for the brothers, and this is for the whole table, really. Man, boom bap, isn't it like it when you hear it? Yeah, it's really hard to describe, but you know it when you hear it. Do y'all agree? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you making something, like there's times where I've done records where I know this ain't a boom bap record. Like, I know this not a boom bap song I just recorded. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And but I got y'all album playing in my ear right now too. And when you just know it when you hear it. So I appreciate it from that standpoint. And I just want to know, like, what's the difference today, y'all think, when we say boom bap today versus in 94, 95?
I mean, it's just, I think it's, it was fresher back then, it was kind of just getting started back in the golden era, you know what I mean? Like the 92, maybe even the early 90s, you know what I mean? And compared to now, I mean, it's just advanced maybe sonically a little bit, with the editing Pro Tools and plugins and things like that. You can kind of maybe edit it and engineer it maybe a little bit differently. So it's sounding a little different, but, I still like that dusty old 90s, boom bap.
Yeah, man, true. I still like that old dusty, 90s boom bap to where the drums just sound like, like you gotta blow, dust off the, snare. You know what I'm saying? And and so that's what makes Tone so amazing is that when I was getting all these beats from him, I'm like, man, like this is crazy. Like this is like everything was boom bap, and that's what I die for. You know what I mean? So them beats brought something out of me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it kind of worked, both ways. But just to also add on, I think that the equipment got better. Just to piggyback on what Till was saying about Tribe is that low end theory sound, it sounds super basic. You know what I'm saying? Not because Tip didn't know what he was doing. It's just that the equipment and the sound engineering got a hell of a lot better from low end theory to Midnight Marauders. You
Facts.
can like you can hear this like sonically. Midnight Marauders just sound different, not because it's better. It's just the equipment got better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
And the capabilities of the equipment.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that, because that's the same thing that me and Till was talking about Straight Out the Jungle by the Jungle Brothers and Done by the Forces of Nature. And that was one of the questions that I asked him. I was like, the production from both of those albums was different. And he was like, that's because they got more budget going, you know, they signed to Warner for Done by
Right.
the Forces of and they was actually able to go into a like really live studio with the equipment. So the equipment was better, and you know what I mean? So that's actual fact what you said, Vic. Like that's on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just to let people know, Tone Spliff, Vic Monroe here with us. How long have you? Because y'all been around for a minute doing in the hip hop world. How long have y'all been doing hip hop? More of a, I know a lot of us got into it as kids and whatnot, but like when you started to record and take it seriously, how long have y'all been in it?
Vic, you want to go?
Man, I want to say since like Salt Man been out. Seem like, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean like, just doodling, like in my pad, you know what I'm saying? Writing stupid stuff. I'm gonna say maybe about I was in maybe 7th grade, like 8th grade, like when I just started writing, stupid little rhymes here, there. High school, I started taking it, like a little seriously, but still wasn't really, I'm just, doodling. And I would say really, yeah, maybe from about 7th grade, high school, really on up until now, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a long time just, perfecting my craft and
Yeah.
things of that nature, yeah. But long time.
Yeah. Tone, how about you?
I mean, I started DJing like maybe 95, 94, 95. I DJ'd until about 2000, and I finally got an MPC 2000 XL and got into production and also rhyming. So I was rhyming back then too. But then fast forward, I stopped rhyming, and I only rhymed for like a few years, maybe, or something like that. I had one of my best friends who was in the group with me got in an accident and passed away, and I never really liked my voice. But after he kind of passed away, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fall back from rhyming and continue with the production and scratching and focus on that a lot more. So then fast forward to from like 2006 till about 2009 is when I dropped Authentic, my first producer album. And that's when I got like cats like Crumb Snatcher and Apathy and Royce the 5'9". At that time I hit him up on it was MySpace. I was
MySpace.
I sent him a message. I was like, yo, Royce the 5'9". I was like, let's work. Let's how much for a verse? Because I don't mind paying MCs if they especially MCs I don't know or have a connection with.
Right.
Obviously Royce is was with Eminem and stuff like that coming up, and I always liked Royce more than Eminem. Anyway, long story short, I got Royce going through MySpace, and at the time he broke his wrist touring like overseas in Europe, so he ended up doing a verse for like super cheap. I looked out and I got Apathy on it, and me and Apathy were cool because I was doing cuts for Apathy on a few of his projects and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'll say 2009 kind of is when I started taking it more serious with my first producer album.
Yeah. So you guys been in it. You know the world. Hip hop well. We've been talking a lot about native tongues. I'm curious to know if you all keep up with newer artists, and as you're listening to newer artists, do any of them strike you, like give you those native tongue vibes, like a more positive type of feel?
Yeah, absolutely. One cat that does is Ill Conscience. Ill Conscience gives me that kind of vibe. Even though cats also compare him to like Big L a little bit, which I can see that. I can see that in his like voice a little bit. But he kind of gives me those native tongue, Tribe Called Quest, De La vibes, Jungle Brothers type vibe.
Yeah, I can see that in him. He's dope. Yeah, Vic, anyone for you?
I see a little Kendrick. I see a little what's the other category with Kendrick?
J. Cole?
Ab-Soul Kid. Like the Ab-Soul. Yeah, Ab-Soul.
Yeah.
I see a little of that in there. Cole also. And there's another, I can't quite put my finger on it, but he actually kind of has like a Q-tip type of like voice too. I can't. It's gonna come to me, but for right now, those guys, Kendrick.
Kendrick, Cole.
Kendrick, definitely you can hear Kendrick's inspired by that, you know what I mean? Even though he might not, I don't know if he's ever publicly said it or nothing like that in interviews or nothing who's inspired him, but I think he has. I mean, he got Ninth Wonder, you know, on his project. He produced
Right.
Yeah.
that Duckworth song.
Yeah.
So like he's
Yeah.
got to know, you know, he's got to know. I think.
Right. And
That's what I'm saying.
our
I
buddy
don't know
Brutus
what happened.
Maximus, also good.
I think
Oh yeah,
hip hop. He said Melly Mel. Now this is a different Melly Mel, right? Than
yeah. Not the pioneer, but Melly Mel with the Melle.
right.
Melly Mel. But this is with the Y, and there's also a hyphen in between the names too.
And is he from the United States? This Melly Mel?
No, he's from Johannesburg, South Africa.
That's right. And you did a album with him.
I did.
Last year, is that right?
Yeah, 20. What year is it? 2022. Yeah, 2021. Him and I did a project called New People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope album, really dope album artwork too. I like that artwork.
Thank you. A friend of mine back from my hometown actually like painted it like on a canvas and shit.
Oh,
and then I went to Fiverr and got someone on Fiverr to basically like to just take the outline and color it in, you know, so it's not like looking like paint. Someone took a picture of it, you know what I mean? And then I actually sent that painting to Mel in Johannesburg so he could have it and, you know, put it up and stuff. The original painting.
That's dope. I want to swing it over to. Oh, great! Welcome back, Vic. I want to swing it over to Isle Moss, Murad, before we have some fun. So, Isle Moss, what you got?
Yeah, two things. The album cover, it reminded me of like Ethiopian art, and I was just wondering, was that like part of the plan, or like what was the concept behind the artwork?
The words to the wise.
Yes.
Well, I hit up my man Lakey. I think I want to say he's in France. He does a lot of art for Recognize Ali's projects. If you're familiar with like Recognize Ali, he's making some moves. So that's why you kind of get that same vibe. Vic and I mean, with the title like Words to the Wise, we're like, yo, this sounds like, you know, some like, you know, biblical stuff, you know what I mean? So we kind of went with the stained glass, you know what I mean? And like having like the book and with the beat machine, kind of just like a, you know, religion, like, cause like our religion is rap, you know.
Word. And I was just wondering, I'm a big avid reader. I was wondering what you guys are reading, like what you guys are into. What books are you guys into?
I'm a big article guy online, so I just really read articles. I'm not really into books, unfortunately. I did buy a book though recently to I want to get into like learning more about mixing and mastering and kind of handle that side of things on my own instead of outsourcing. And no disrespect to my engineer Matt Wagner at all, but you know, I kind of want to just figure and learn new ways to help others and also help myself financially to keep this music thing going, you know?
Yeah.
True.
Dope. And I think
Vic might be into some books, so I think Vic reads. Vic, you there?
We can see you, Vic. Just can't hear you this time.
I think he's on mute.
Having technical difficulties on the Boom Bap Chat number 99.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Mike sounds nice. Check one.
Oh, he doing a Bruce Lee thing now too.
I can't hear him.
Kung Fu Sunday.
Vic, if you want to try to sign out and sign back in, we can try that. Okay. We're going to try to get Vic Monroe back in here. Do our best.
We're back.
Yeah. Well, I think he's back right there. We'll see if this works here. Bring him back on. Vic Monroe. Nah, we can't hear you, man. We can see you. Cannot hear you. All right, well, we worked that out. Tone?
Yes, sir.
Next question I have for you. Let's say Vic Monroe is the next album he puts out, or the next album he records. You're like the executive producer of it, but you can't do any beats for it. You have to go out and pick one producer to produce the entire project. Who would you pick and why?
Oh man, that's a good question.
It could be anyone. Money's not an issue, so the budget doesn't matter. You can pick anybody you want.
It would be Pete Rock. It would be Pete Rock. Yeah, I think he would. I think Pete Rock's production and Vic's flow and everything would be a perfect match. You know what I mean?
I think so because Vic's voice, he's got that. I don't know. He's got a unique voice. You know,
He does.
Almost
Almost. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It doesn't sound like Sadat, but it has that Sadat kind of feel. You know what I'm saying? Is
Hello?
that accurate or no?
I can hear that. Vic,
Yeah.
I can hear you. I can see that, Ayamas. Especially like Sadat, like early 90s Sadat.
Yeah.
It happened again, babe.
No, we can hear you now, Vic.
Like
there
not
you
even a. There it is.
There it was.
But I'm like not the style of his voice, but just like the tone of his voice. You know what I mean? Not the style of his rhymes, but the tone of his voice, I should say.
Yeah. And our guy Brutus, this is what I was trying to say. Brutus said it. Said Vic has that powerful voice, but not an aggressive voice.
Yeah.
And I feel that. He has such a great voice, but it's not like this overpowering voice, but he has overpowering ideas, you know, very deep thoughts and ideas. So
yeah, it's smooth, you know, it's a smooth, it kind of reminds me like maybe even like a mixture of like Q-Tip and Sadat X, now that you mentioned like Sadat. It's like, you know.
What do you think about that, Vic Monroe? You're a mixture of Sadat and Q-Tip.
See, I'm over here cheesing because I always thought like Q-Tip as one of the best voices. You know, Q-Tip, Guru, and a few other guys. It's like as soon as you hear him, you know, up top, like, that's, you know, Sadat. You know what I'm saying? And the same with like Q-Tip. And I always said that if somebody that there's only maybe two people in like hip hop that I'm jealous, and that's Q-Tip because he can rhyme dope. Then I found out he was doing all of the beats for Tribe. And then every girlfriend that I've ever dated, they always be like, Q-Tip is so cute. So I'll be like, man.
He's got it all.
3 L's, right, for me. You know what I'm saying? Mess with Q-Tip. But that's man, thanks. Thanks for that, because those are 2 of my favorites. You know what I'm saying?
So, and some more accolades. This is from Brutus again. He says your voice is really full and engaging. And I like this term. He calls it the velvet sledgehammer.
Appreciate that.
So shout out to Brutus and Raw Side Hip Hop doing some.
Shout out to Brutus, man.
Big shout out Raw Side Hip Hop. Yeah. They gave me the honor of DJ of the year last year, man. Super appreciative of that, man. Really, really appreciative of Brutus and Raw Side. Yeah.
That's dope. So Vic, we're gonna reverse the question, and I'm gonna ask you now. You get to executive produce the next album that Tone Spliff produces, and you have to pick one MC.
Stop right when he was asking me the question.
All right, you can't say yourself. All right, but you get to pick who it is. I think he froze up.
My man froze up, Joe.
How convenient! How convenient he freezes up right now.
We'll give him some time. He'll be back, I'm sure. He's got some time to think about it. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can get
Sorry about that.
That's okay. All right, yeah. So who are you gonna pick? Who's he gonna produce the album for?
A rapper?
Yeah, rapper.
Tone Spliff produced the album. Man, this can be anybody.
Can be anybody. Budget's not an issue.
I'm gonna say
anybody.
I'm gonna say Ghostface. Tony Stark. Tone Spliff and Tony Starks.
Yeah.
I could the two-tone project. Yeah.
Right,
two-tone project. Yeah.
And I've got beats for Ghostface too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see a Ghostface.
I can definitely hear that.
Yeah, definitely. Right on. All right, so fellas, we're gonna play a little game. It's the this or that game. I'm gonna throw up 2 options on the screen. I'll say them out too for our podcast listeners, and you just tell me which one. All right. So the first one, Tone, we'll go with you first. Rest in peace, always. Sean Price or Ruck?
Oh man, that's a good question, man.
And you can also say both if you want.
No. It's tough, man, because I like Ruck back, Helter Skelter, obviously the same person. When Sean Price he started doing his solo production, like he kind of like changed his flow up a little bit
Yeah.
and became a lot more funnier, I want to say, and also I want to say wittier too, and just like not giving a complete fuck at all, and just talk about it. I'm gonna go. I mean, both. Yeah, obviously both all the time because Operation Lockdown, Helter Skelter, the early boot camp days. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't not say that was his classic years. But I'm gonna go with Sean Price.
Sean Price.
Rest in
Okay.
peace.
All right. Right on. Right on. All right. Next one. Be the funny. There it is. Sean Price hat right there. Be the funniest person alive or the smartest person alive.
I'll be the smartest person alive, just
Okay.
because I'll probably be very rich and wealthy, and I'll learn how to be funny.
There you go. Good intellectual answer. All right. Ride a bike or take a walk.
Right now, take a walk because I've lost about 35 pounds since November, and I've been
Okay.
walking a lot. I do have a bicycle, and I love going on bike rides, but I was like 265 pounds, and like the frame wasn't going to support me very well on this cheap
Yeah.
ass bike I bought from Target. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm gonna say go for a walk. Right now it's gonna be go for a walk.
Was the weight loss intentional?
I got diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and
Okay.
I just wanted to reassess my life, and I just turned 40, so I was like, I'm 41 now. I just wanted to get in better health, better shape for myself to
Yeah.
tackle on these next 20 years, maybe if I'm lucky.
Yeah, no doubt. Vic Monroe, we're gonna go back a little bit because I'd love to know your thoughts here. And you can say both. Both is a valid option. Sean Price or Ruck.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say Sean Price. See?
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. His delivery changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once that changed, but don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Helter Skelter fan.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ruck would have lasted as a solo artist as hard as Sean.
I can see that. I love how Sean Price reintroduced himself. It's just one
And took over Duck Down Records and called it Ruck Down.
Ruck, yeah, exactly.
He's like, fuck you, Drew Ha. I'm just gonna take over your shit right now and call it Ruck Down. You're not gonna be able to do nothing.
He was so funny. Oh, so funny. All right. Yeah, Vic, what's up?
Definitely Sean Price. I think the Sean Price was more. I think that he didn't give a shit. Say that. Like once he turned into like Sean Price, he was just like, if you like me, whatever. If you don't, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Brokest rapper, fuck you. I'm gonna block the shit out of you online.
Right. Right.
Yeah, his humor was hilarious. All right. One more before a question. This next one is abstract or straightforward. What do you prefer?
I'll go with straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with straightforward.
Yeah. All right. Last question here, and think big or think however you want. If you could own one new thing, what would it be? You could own anything.
A house.
And I'm gonna say about acres and acres of land.
Acres of land. Smart answers. Very good. All right. Thank you for playing along. Wanted to jump into this new album, Words to the Wise. Fantastic album. I think Profound's over to listen to it right now in his headphones. I see you nodding your head. Came out earlier this year. There's a few features on there, but primarily it's Tone Spliff on the beats and Vic Monroe on the rhymes. How did this album? Did y'all know each other pretty well before the album? And what was it like working on this album together?
Man, I'm gonna say, we built a good bond, a good relationship because we had worked on the first project. So, and it's funny because when I was reaching out to Tone, it like really wasn't even to work on.
He froze.
It's the choppy
It's
conversation.
it's the Wi. It must be the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we worked on an EP before Words to the Wise. It was called Marinade. Vic and I had connected. He hit me up, I think, on Instagram. He saw my name on Rap is Out of Control's playlist, and I saw his name on Rap is Out of Control, and I saw they posted up a freestyle because Vic actually went to New York and was on the show. And I follow Eclipse. Me and Eclipse, I've known Eclipse for quite some time now, since like the halftime show days and stuff like that, Fat Beats days, when he was, obviously the manager in the New York City store. So, Vic and I just connected from just basically seeing each other's names, on that playlist. And I saw his freestyle. I think he reached out on Instagram, like, yo, I heard this such and such song on Eclipse show. And shit was dope. Like, you got any beats? So I was like, he's like, yeah, I was like, I know who you are. Like, I saw your freestyle. I heard your songs too on Rap is Out of Control. Like, you're dope. He kind of reminded me of like AZ a little bit, like his flow and his voice and stuff like that. So I was like, absolutely, I got some beats that would fit you. You know what I mean? And we just linked up. I sent him, I think, maybe like 5 or 6 beats, and I think he liked them all. He might have like said, this one's all right. You got anything else? You know what I mean? So he wasn't too picky, which I like too as well. Like, I hate when MCs are like, nah, I don't like this beat. Give me another one. Nah, I want this vibe. I give them that vibe, and they're like, nah, I don't like this one. I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm sending them like my whole beat folder at this point. Right. I'm like, so luckily, like I had like an ear for Vic, so I kind of had a feeling of what he would like. I'm usually pretty good. Like, I'll send one beat to an artist, will be like, yo, this shit is dope, perfect, thank you. And I'll be like, all right, thank you. My DJ ear is still working.
Yeah. So you'll tailor what beats you send, depending.
Yeah, well, like exactly. Like if I'm working with someone, whether like obviously if it's like Ed OG or someone, like I know Ed OG and the Bulldogs. I know Ed OG's voice and how he flows. Like, I'll pick out beats specifically that I know that he would sound good on. Now, if it's someone that just hits me up and like DM is like, yo, I want to buy some beats or something like that, I'm like, well, can I hear your music first? You know what I mean? So I'll kind of like screen them first, you know what I mean, and see kind of how their voice is, what they flow, what type of beats they like to rhyme on, or that they do rhyme on. And then I'll go and I'll just dig through my, 1,000 beat projects and just find a couple, then just send them off, you know what I mean? And hopefully they like one.
Yeah. Lyrically, Vic. No, I can hear you. We can hear you, Vic. I had a question for you. I think we lost him. Well, I'll ask the production question. Tone, as far as the sound of the album, and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but did you have kind of the album in mind, before you started sending beats to Vic?
No, not really. He actually he hit me up and he was about to work with Recognized Ali, and
right.
He wanted me to produce it. And I already worked with Rec a few times. Yep.
All right, sorry about that, Tom.
No, it's all good. And and I had already worked with Recognized Ali, so I sent him a few beats for that. And I thought it was going to be maybe for like a project he was coming up with or something, but then it turned out, like these 2 songs, the Recognized Ali joint, and then another one, he recorded them both. He's like, you know what, this sounds dope, man. We should just continue on with a new project. So he kind of tricked me into it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was very much happy to work with him again, because I know that he's dope, and I knew that his work ethic was, uncomparable to others. So I was like, you know what, absolutely, and I'll continue to do projects with him, because he's just such a dope person. Yeah, go.
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask Vic when he gets back on is, did he have an idea of what the album was going to be, or did it just kind of happen organically, one song after one song? Profound, what are your thoughts, man? I know you've been listening in to the album.
Man, I really like it. I really like it, man. This I just so happened to be on Visions of Love, man. Man.
Thank you, man.
The way it come in, it's like, oh, I want to scream, but that's why I had to mute the mic. Like, man, they don't want to mess around and say nothing. But I think it's solid, man. Like, that's what I was talking about. Like, if I had to describe to somebody said, hey, what's boom bap? I'd give them this album.
This album,
here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that, it's a
Dope.
sound. It is a sound, and you know it when you hear it.
Yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
but you know, it like I said in the beginning, like there's a universality to it, if that's a word, because there's some boom bap, like there's only a few people that are gonna like this type of boom bap. Like it's a very small niche, but like this album, I think a lot of people can enjoy it. So hey Vic, while we
Yeah.
got you back, I'm
Hey.
curious to know for this album, Words to the Wise, did you kind of have an idea of what you wanted the album to be as far as like concepts and songs, or did it just kind of happen one song after the other organically?
Some of them came just naturally. Like certain songs,
We're at the current technology.
Hey, yo,
Yo,
Vic
this-
must be a member of the Black Panthers, man, because they just COINTELPRO on this dude, man. Straight up, dog. They won't let this man get a word in. I'm like, yo,
Nope.
the system, bro.
my joint on there, I like all the joints, but Ain't Saying Nothing. Whew, I love that song. Okay.
Thank you, man. That's the more hyper joint too of the project, you know.
All right. Yeah, for real. All right, Vic, go ahead, Ben.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's going on, but
It's all good.
some of the albums came, natural. Some of the albums, some of the joints on their tone came with like a concept, and I'm like, you know what, had to be a dope concept, you know what I mean? So some came, like that, and I just wanted the album to be like just like a hodgepodge of songs that like didn't match. You know what I'm saying? That's how my mind was thinking when I was writing it. You know what I'm saying? It kind of sound crazy, but to me, those are like some of the best albums. It's like nothing on this album match, but this shit is like, ridiculous. You know what I mean? So that's how I was writing it when I was thinking. That's what was going on up here. You know what I'm saying? Say when I was writing it, I don't know if it quite came out that way, but it still came out so.
Yeah, it came out great, and I really tune into like the overall feel of albums, and this album, it definitely to me has a feel to it. There's not a song on like I think if you like one of the songs, you're gonna like all of the songs. There's not a couple songs on here that are like, where did this come from? It has a cohesiveness to it, which I love. I love albums like that. So did a great
And I
job.
think to add on
Yep.
to that, Till, what I like about it is that I done already cycled through it. You know what I mean? Like it's already on repeat. So it's like, yeah, you would play this and you wouldn't stop it. You would play it until the end, or you would keep, it's like I said, it's got that vibe, and you would know that, like, oh, I know what that is. Yeah, let me get that.
Yeah, and
Thank you, man. Thank you.
it's a good length too, because I think it's 10, 12 tracks, but like there's an intro, there's a couple skits, and so it goes by pretty quickly, but it's not like a short EP either. Like there's plenty of content on there, but in this day and age, it's not like overboard. So I feel like the length is kind of perfect for people's attention spans in 2022. So yeah,
Yep.
flows well, great length. I like that there's not a lot of features. I mean, obviously, Recognize Ali is on a joint and GQ, and I think you have a singer on the first song, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The one Lavick, yep.
The one lap, yeah, that. I love that song. That sounds real.
They called me again, babe.
So great album. If you're tuning in, the album is called Words to the Wise by Vic Monroe and Tone Spliff. If you have not heard this album, I recommend going to their Bandcamp page and buying it. Support the artist. If you need it, you need to just listen to it first, get a taste. That's fine. It's all over streaming platforms. You can do that as well, and then go buy it. But it's a really, really good album, especially if you like boom bap. I don't think you're gonna be. You're gonna like this album. If you like that boom bap sound, this is definitely a good album, and you're gonna appreciate it. So check that out. Anything else you wanted to say about the album, Tone Spliff, that you want people to know about?
No, just thank you for everyone out there who's been listening and been supportive of it, and all new future listeners that are gonna potentially go check it out after seeing this interview. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think there would be I know there was an EP before this, and then Words to the Wise. Do you think there would be more music with Vic Monroe in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Yeah,
Right
might
on.
take a year off maybe next year, but we'll be back probably like 2024 maybe. Yeah, with
Great,
some new
because
music.
we need more words to the wise, man. That's for sure. We need more of
Thank
that.
you,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yep. Before we go on to celebrate some dope hip hop classics, Profound Iowans, anything you want to chime in with before we head into that?
No, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Chilling.
it's good.
All right.
I got. To,
Okay.
I wish we could. I wish we could play music, man.
I know.
I know, man. You
Hip
can't even play their stuff, even if they on here.
I think it's just the way. That's what the program we use. I think. We
Oh,
gotta. We
we
gotta.
can't.
that's right.
Yeah, it's just a different
And
setup. So,
it's a different
um,
setup.
Swag.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very whack.
Uh,
And just because we get the okay from Tone Spliff, that doesn't mean streaming services or wherever
Right.
we're streaming, they may not know that and still take it down,
Oh.
which is crazy.
Oh yeah, true.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's not really like it's not even on the artist. Like if you go through like CD Baby, they also flag it on YouTube and things like that. They'll
Right,
throw the copyright or whatever the hell that is.
right.
Instagram.
Tone Spliff, I want to try something new tonight with you. I want to try this segment called One Word, One Story. I'm going to show you an album cover. And if you can just think of the first word that comes to your mind to describe this album or a feeling that comes to mind when you see it and think about it. And then if you can just, breathe it in, take it in, think about it, and just think about a story that comes to your mind, a memory that you had with this album or something that this album inspires, a story that it inspires you to remember. All right.
Okay.
So first one, Daily Operation by Gangstar.
Oh man, classic. I guess is going to be the word that I'm gonna say. That's like one of my all time favorite albums. I mean, Premiere and Premiere is obviously a huge inspiration in my production and my DJing and my scratch hooks and my scratches in general. And then Guru. I mean, I met Guru once when I was 16 years old. I guess that'll be the story that comes to mind is meeting Guru. In Buffalo, New York, it was at Six
No,
Flags.
just don't say PC. Just say I'm trying.
Meeting Guru would be the story that comes to my mind. Buffalo Six Flags concert. It was called Smoking Grooves. It was like Gangstar, Cypress Hill, Flavor, Public Enemy, Flavor Flav was there. Bumpy Knuckles was there. MOP was there. I think Black Eyed Peas and like Maya was there too. It was like very random, but they were there as well. And I met Guru. They were all hanging out like on the side of the stage over there, just like anyone could go bum rush them. So me and a couple of my buddies bum rushed them, and we ran up to Guru. And we're like, "Yo, Guru, what's up, man? What's up?" And I was a huge Premiere fan. I was just getting started into production too, as well. I was like, "Where's Premiere?" He was like, "Oh, Premiere's not feeling well. He's backstage." And I was so disappointed. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, here I am speaking to freaking Guru, being disappointed that I can't meet Premiere. Like,
Right.
I kind of just like slapped myself. I'm like, man, it's all good, man. I hope it feels better. I'm like, thank you for, meeting me right now. And, he was mad. He was mad cool about it. I hate
That's
when,
cool.
artists with a bigger name, you know what I mean, are kind of like cocky and they don't want to talk for a few minutes. He was very chill. He was talkative. You know what I mean? We kicked it for a few minutes and obviously he had to get going, but he was really cool. But that would be the story that would come to mind. And also smoking tons of blunts. Like I was smoking mad blunts back then, listening to that album on repeat. And like, I must've smoked myself like handicapped like 1,000 times in that album.
Big Monroe, how about you? Is there a memory that comes to mind when you think about this album?
Man, I'm gonna say like sophomore year, man. Like I was a freaking sophomore at the time, and just like Tone said, that album taught me about White Owls. Like I didn't know about smoking White Owls because we was Philly blunts, but that song on that album, he said, I'm about to roll up the White Owl. We were like, oh shit, because White Owl's not. So just like getting blunted and just how, to me, outside of that, man, I always have a like back and forth, like what album was better, that or Hard to Earn. And you can catch me say Tuesday, I might say Daily Operation. Wednesday, I might say Hard to Earn. So Daily Operation is like one of my toughest Gangstar albums, man.
That's tough, man. It's tough.
That is tough.
That's like, you know what I'm
And
saying?
and then he throw a moment of truth in there, man.
Man, you.
I think that's the greatest 3-album run in history of
I was
music.
just
I
about
mean,
to say that, Tone. Yeah,
It
I'm being
gotta
very
be.
biased.
yeah.
I'm being biased because I'm a huge Gangstar fan, huge DJ Premier fan. But
Nah,
Nah, I think you accurate with that assessment, bro.
I
yeah,
think a lot of people will agree that that's probably like the greatest 3-run album. I think right
yeah,
there. Daily
So
Operation, Hard to
yeah.
Earn, Moment of
But
Truth. You
then,
know.
but then, if and really, you can even take it from
Step in the arena.
to the arena. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like that was a crazy run. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
It
that
was
was crazy. That album was crazy
Daily
too, man.
Operation, Hard to Earn. Not too many people in hip hop had runs like that. You know, I'm gonna say, Redman had good runs, kind of like that too, but not like that Gangstar run.
I would say Tribe too. Tribe had a run.
Tribe,
Yeah,
De La
yeah,
You know what I'm
Soul as
saying?
well.
Tribe had
yeah,
a run.
People,
De La as
people
well. De La
instincts.
had a
Yeah.
run.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Outkast had a
yeah.
nice
I
run.
remember is that song? What's the name of that song? I think it's on the Daily Operation. The one to go with the horns that dun 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 dun
X.
dun dun
Oh,
dun
Now You're
dun.
Mine.
What song is
Now
that?
You're Mine. Now
You
You're
talking
Mine.
about
I
it?
think
Yeah,
is
I
on
remember they
Hard.
played that on. Y'all remember NBA
Yeah,
Jam when they used to have a
yeah,
dunking session? I remember
Oh
when
yeah,
they
yeah,
played
yeah.
that. That was
yeah.
like going crazy, and all the dunks was going with it. That one was
Right.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
The thing
Yeah,
about Gangstar's run is that, yeah, I mean, you can talk about Tribe and De La Soul, Outkast, Mobb Deep, even that had good 3-album runs. But with Gangstar, they might be the only group, in my opinion, that for their first 5 albums got better with each album. I
yeah,
personally think each album is better than their last one for their first 5.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
and I can't think of another group I could argue that for. That's just amazing to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, the progression you can hear the progression
Yeah,
going, even all the way back. No More Mr. Nice Guy, Step in the
right.
Arena, and then
Yeah.
once Daily Operation kind of began the change of how Premier did his production, and then
Mhm.
continually changed. Obviously through the years, even with
Right.
like Group Home, the fully other fully produced Primo albums,
Yeah.
you can hear his style changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting so
That
good.
Group Home album, my God, them beats on
Still.
there.
Man, oh my
Oh
God.
man.
My God, dude.
I love
Yeah.
that album. Man, I love that
And
album.
that album's tough, man. Through and through, from
Oh yeah.
start to finish, bro.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, it is. All right. Next one. All right. So Vic, what we're doing is one story, one word, one story. So think of a word that comes to mind when you see this album, and then if a story is attached to it, you can share that too. All right.
Okay.
Next one is Muddy Waters.
Oh
Redman.
man. 106.3 jams. That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
wow,
I'm gonna tell you why.
1063.
I'm gonna tell you why. So I'm home from school, right? And Muddy Waters, like I don't even know that anything that like Redman is like in the city. So he's in Chicago and shit. And 106.3 jams, they at the House of Blues. They're like, yeah, Redman, Muddy Waters listening party. They just letting people in for free. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I was like, what? So that always that's why I always connect up with 106.3 jam. That was a station in Chicago in like 90s, like late 90s. And they played like a lot of, like a lot of that good, hip hop. Back when you could actually play Muddy Waters on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pink House, man.
Pink
Yeah,
House,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that man and that's one of them albums also where it's like a Gangstar thing. There's a Dark Side, Muddy Waters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Catch me on a Monday, I might say There's a Dark Side. Catch me on Tuesday, I might say Muddy Waters. So
Right.
yeah,
That's another 3-album run. That's phenomenal. His first 3.
For real.
yeah, crazy one.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tone, how about you?
Well, the first word that would come to mind would probably be maybe progression. I think Redman was kind of progressing within his career. with this
Yeah.
project. You know, he was kind of, you know, back then with EPMD and what the album, he was definitely more aggressive, I guess, more aggressive beats. I think the productions changed maybe a little bit with this project,
Yep.
from what I can
Yeah.
remember. You know what I mean? He's definitely started getting a lot more comical, I think, with his bars and stuff like that. And then a memory that comes to mind, again, I was smoking tons of blunts, man, back in these '90s days. We were skipping high school. You know, I would skip class and just go to my boy's back shed, and we'd all put the tape in the boom box and just start listening to like that and like 36 Chambers and all the classic, you know, '90s, and just I just get mad high, man. I'm just mad high just thinking about that right now. You know?
Mm, mm.
I just want to go smoke a blunt. I want to go roll a blunt right now and listen to that album.
Dope album.
And I haven't smoked a blunt in probably like a good 15, 20 years. Like I've
really?
I've been smoking bowls and like the little vape cartridges and shit like that. But yeah, I haven't smoked a blunt in like maybe 15, 20 years or some shit like that. But now I kind of want to go roll a blunt.
We'll put that down. We don't want to tempt you. But that album, that Muddy Waters album, to me, curious to know what you all think. So the year's 96. I think Redman sounds great over it. I think it's a great album. I love it personally. But I think De La Soul would have sound perfect over the production of that album.
I can definitely hear that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good statement.
Yeah, I can definitely hear that.
It just had a feel, you know. Just had a feel.
Did 96? Didn't Stakes is High come out in 96?
Yeah, and that was dope too. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But all right, I want to do one more because I've been listening to these guys all week. I posted about them today, and they both commented, and I was like, "What? That's dope." So I'm curious to know what you think about this. This is one of my favorites right here. This is The Shining by Spliff and Wesson.
Man,
This is one of my favorites. Vic, we'll start with you.
Man, I'm talking. Man, where can I start, man? I'm just gonna say the first thing that comes to my mind when I say that is just gritty. And gritty.
Yeah.
Because I had the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like when that shit came out, I had the tape. If anybody didn't think I went to what was the music store that was in Evergreen Plaza? I'm about to take you back.
Yeah, I know exactly. My man used to work at that spot, bro.
I can't
Either that boy still.
I went and got that tape out of there. Went to my cousin's house, and just like Tone said, man, we probably smoked ourselves crazy. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that, man. Yeah, just man, gritty. Just, you know, man, it was gritty, man. Yeah, it was gritty.
That was that record store by Carson Perry Scott, bro. That's the one you're talking about.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why
I forgot what it was. Like, I forgot the name of it too. My homeboy was like the manager there, bro.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's dope. Yeah. That's what's up.
So Spliff,
memories, man. You bring back memories.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Man, obviously that's a classic album. You know, Boot Camp, I guess, would be the first thing that comes to mind. You know, that was the second project from the camp after Enter the Stage. So, you know, I was a huge Enter the Stage fan, and then when Smith and Wesson came out, you know, obviously I was checking for it. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is that on Soundboy, that don't, Soundboy original, the Jamaican, the Rasta. So that kind of comes to mind at first, just because, again, smoking mad weed back in my boy's shed, and then just having that dude come on, I'm like, yeah, this is some smoked out, dope Bucktown, Brooklyn, like boom, you know, early '90s boom bap with like, you know, the production from the Beat Miners, Evil D, Mr. Walt, like those two are also highly slept on with their production and don't get talked about much, but you know, they produced a lot of classics. You know, Enter the Stage, that project, OGC, his first album, The Storm, and Helter Skelter, and you know, those guys don't get mentioned enough. I thought
exactly,
you know what I mean.
Yep. And the second Black Moon album, I am one of the only people in the world. I actually like that album more than Into the Stage, and I love Into the Stage. But that second Black Moon album, I just feel like their production just went to a place that
it was definitely
Man, you know what? I'm gonna have to
Warzone,
give it a
right?
spin. Yeah,
Warzone.
I haven't heard it in a minute, but I remember that album. It was
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, they I don't know, man. It was something about like it was kind of like it was like the beat miners doing the beat miners thing, but then it also had like their bass lines like reminded me of like Eric Sermon mid-90s bass lines on that album. And it was just like a
Yeah.
perfect blend. It just like I said, it just sounded good. Anyway, I love
Eric
that
Sermon. Eric Sermon is another producer, man, who doesn't get his props.
Yep.
either.
Absolutely.
That dude,
100%.
I agree 100%.
man,
Yeah.
he had a run of like incredible beat after incredible beat for years. Where like
Yeah.
nothing whack came out of that dude.
Nah. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna even go as further to say is that he created West Coast. He created the West Coast sound.
I will give him that.
Yeah, because like even when he was with Paris, like EPMD, they was the first dudes who was like sampling funk. Like they was sampling Zap. They was sampling like the Gap Band. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at like Eric Sherman's, like bass lines, they kind of like, West Coasty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Eric Sherman, he don't get his props.
Did EPMD come out before NWA?
Yeah.
Were they out before NWA?
I think so.
Oh
I
yeah,
think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's facts.
I think so.
Big facts.
Yeah. And then also remember Dre, he really like Dre's sound changed. Like the beats he was doing for NWA, like them wasn't the Chronic beats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it was a whole different sound because back with NWA, it was, like the technology was different. So you talking like, like 808s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So by the time the Chronic came, Dre had, he was bringing in live producers, they playing bass and, live. Yeah, it was, but Eric Sermon, yeah, he's another one. I just wanted to bring that up because you mentioned E. Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And someone told me, I don't know if this is true, but someone told me that Dilla was highly influenced and inspired by Eric Sermon. Can't confirm that, but there are some Dilla beats. There's some Eric Sermon beats that predate Dilla that like, okay, that kind of has I can hear Dilla in that joint, so that could be true too.
Like,
and I mean
like
that
synthy sound, well, like using synths and stuff like that.
It could be what he
That's
was
what you
referring.
mean.
He could be referring to that.
Yeah.
But
a
lot of people were inspired by Eric Sermon. I mean, he's Eric Sermon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dope. Tone Spliff, how can people follow you online if you want people to follow you online?
Everything is at Tone Spliff, TONESPLIFF. Just Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook. Just Google, and my thing should pop up or whatever.
Right on. And Vic Monroe, how about you?
Man, same. Everything is at Vic Monroe. Instagram, Bandcamp, Facebook. You can hit me at Vic Monroe Music at gmail.com for send me some beats, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But just at Vic Monroe, everything.
Right on. And we were talking about a little bit earlier about where we see work a while, you and Tone Spliff be working together. But I'm just curious to know if you guys have anything that you're working on either together or separately that you want our listeners to know about.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm working on a lot, man. I got what do I got? Right now I'm wrapping up a project with Zag Nif Nori. If you're familiar with him, he's actually from my hometown of Utica, New York. So this is the first time I'm doing a full project with someone from my hometown. I've worked with a few cats, from my hometown, but this is the first project. Zag Nif is really dope. I'm doing a follow-up with King Magnetic. If you heard my King Magnetic album, Nobody's Safe, we're gonna do another one. I've been releasing a new single every 2 weeks this year. So anyone that follows me on Spotify will see a new single popping up every 2 weeks. That's going to lead to a producer album at the end of the year called Album of the Year. which is basically going to be just the singles that I released throughout the year. And it's going to turn into an album. So album of the year, not necessarily going to be album of the year, though. I would be grateful. I would be very grateful if people nominated it or whatever, but they don't have to. It's all good. And you know, that I've been working on that. So kind of just like working on getting singles scheduled so I have enough time while I'm waiting for verses and waiting for artists to get back to me, you know?
Yeah. Super dope. Super dope.
Thank
Man, a new song every 2 weeks. That's going to be a long album.
Well, I see. I started in. Well, I'm technically the idea came to me in October when I dropped a single with Freddie Black called "Talk That Shit." He recorded it in DITC Studios in New York, and you know, I was just like, yeah, we're gonna talk some shit with this. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing a single every 2 weeks this year, and I'm gonna start early in December. And actually, I started like on Thanksgiving, so. You know, it's been a lot of work, you know, between October and the end of November, I got maybe like six songs done and ready. So I started queuing them up, and then I started hitting up some other cats to be involved. So
that's dope, man. I've heard the singles, but I'm reluctant to even listen to any more, knowing that they're going to be an album, because I'm such an album head, you know. I want to hear it all together, you know.
Here's the kicker: like, I'm not going to upload it to streaming sites. I'm gonna have people make a playlist, or I'm gonna actually make a playlist and share the playlist on Spotify. So I'm gonna start a playlist basically with only the album songs will be in this playlist,
right?
And I'm gonna press it up on CD, so it's gonna be, you know, hard copies only.
Dope. I like that idea, man. That's dope. That's dope.
That's heavy.
Yeah, Vic Monroe, what's going on with you?
Man, wrapping up an album, probably gonna put it out maybe in about 6 months. Produced by Ty Hill, Paper Machine Guns. That's gonna be the name of it. Maybe got about two more joints. So I'm hoping to probably bring that out maybe in the next 6 months. Working on maybe about a 7-song EP with Tony Baines.
Baines.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. About to get it in with him, and you know, and catch me on, you know, features, you know what I'm saying, and anything Tone ever want me to do, I'm always willing to hop on. So
well, yeah, we're you know, we're not going to be done with the, you know, the reception that we've gotten from Marinade, and now Words to the Wise has gotten even bigger, you know, receptive to the audience. We'll undoubtedly be doing more music in the future, him and I.
So that's great to hear. Great to hear. Yeah. So if you just tuning in, don't know what we're talking about, Words to the Wise is the new album from Vic Monroe and Tone Spliff. It's a super dope album. Go get it. Got the CD right there. Go get it. It's on Bandcamp, streaming platforms. Get it. It's dope. Boom bap at its finest. Profound, Almas, any last words before we jump into our shout outs?
Nah, man. He mentioned some names, you know. It brought back memories.
For real.
Yeah.
Family, man. Tony.
My teacher, Jedi Master Tony Baines. And
word.
Ty Hill.
And Ty Hill.
I went to high school with Tony Baines.
Oh, word. Oh,
yeah,
man.
like me and Tone go back to the 80s. Yeah, like we go back to the 80s, bro.
Spillani's, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
look, I'm gonna say it on the air. We go back to when he was a dancer. and I'm texting him too, like, hey man, Vic just hollered you out on the show, and I'm telling him that you used to be a dancer. You wanted to be dance for New Edition. Hey man, that cat went on tour with New Edition, bro. Like, as a dancer, yeah, man. I'm serious. Like right out of high school, like senior year of high school, bro.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh,
me and Tony battled in the high school talent show, man. Like his group won. I was a solo MC rapping over the instrumental of Jack of Spades, and he had a group and they had dancers and they had it together. But you know, when it came to the real hip hop though, like I was smashing them, but they won though, because they was uniform and had it together. He was doing splits and all of that on the stage. So,
Tony Baines was probably on his group like Joe Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, it's a good brother though, man. That's really dope, man.
Indeed.
Yeah, for real.
Right on. Well, thanks, fellas. The last thing we always do on the hip hop show is we give shout outs. So we'll give some shout outs to our people, and then we'll hand it over to you, Tone and Vic, for the final shout outs of the evening. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, Profound, who you want to shout out tonight?
Hey man, I had a list, but you know what? We can't do the list, so we just gonna do it like this because we gonna shout out my grandson, man. My brand new grandson, my first grandson, born yesterday.
Shaheed.
Yeah, Kai
Congratulations.
Shaheed, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm on that hip hop grandfather shit, y'all. I'm just telling you right now. Okay. So yeah, I'm just shouting him out, man. He just new to the world, and I'm gonna give him his space today.
That's what's up.
And my crew, of course, the Boom Bap Chat crew, the normal Io, Till, Bosto, and Joe, and then of course Vic and Tone. Man, it was definitely a pleasure meeting y'all brothers, man, and shout y'all out definitely for come through and for the great music and the great reference to Boom Bap with y'all music, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Io Masmarad.
Yeah, man. Shout out the Boom Bap Chat brothers. Shout out, Chicago, Tony Baines, Ty Hill, my man Vic for coming through, you know what I'm saying, with Tone Spliff. Shout out my beautiful wife, man. And shout out, man, just life, man. And shout out to Brotherhood, man. Because earlier this week, Till, Profound, Joe was on a call. They held me down at like a, rough spot. But man, thank God for Brotherhood, man. So I appreciate that. So shout out Brotherhood, true Brotherhood. And yeah, man, shout y'all brothers out for coming through, man. Thank y'all a lot, man, for coming through, and keep doing what y'all doing, man. Representing that real, boom bap. Keep boom bap alive, man. The aesthetic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Almas.
No doubt.
I want to shout out V Steez, dope MC we've had on the show before. She posted something, song she has with Pete Rock, and she talks about imposter syndrome, and it got me thinking, about this idea. And you can be the dopest MC, you can be the dopest producer, but sometimes in your mind you're not. You have doubt, self-doubt, and this, that, and the third. And sometimes it's good, I think, to just take a moment and reflect on, what we have done that's good, what we have achieved, and celebrate those successes. And so with that, I just want to celebrate this show and shout out Profound and Iomas and the whole crew, because next week is our 100th episode of the Boom Bap Chat. So I think that's something, man. We've done it.
Man.
We've got some consistency, growing, and we know it's good to just take a moment and just say, hey, we did this thing. Not that we still got a lot of room to grow. Obviously, we all do, but just to take a moment and shout out your successes. So if you're out there going through something right now, just take a moment and reflect. Surely there's something you have achieved in your life that you can celebrate right now, if not a few things. So shout out to succeeding in life and, putting putting in the grind and, putting in your work, hard sweat, and tears, all that, and making things happen in this world. People do it every day and they go unnoticed and uncelebrated. So just want to celebrate all those daily successes that we have every day that we kind of take for granted and just don't even stop to appreciate what we have done in our lives. So shout out to that, and shout out to Vic Monroe and Tone Spliff for this album, man. Words to the Wise, such a dope album.
Thank you.
Appreciate you both on
Thank
the
you.
beats. One of the best out right now, Tone Spliff, and on the lyrics, Vic Monroe, you're one of the best out right now, top tier artist right here. So I really appreciate your artisanship, artistry, and appreciate you coming by tonight and spending some time with us and sharing some of yourself with us. So thank you, guys. Shout out to you. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Tone, and then Vic. Take it away.
All right. Well, first, shout out to Boom Bap Chat. You three fellas for having us. You guys are all really dope. Very thankful for meeting you guys. Shout out to everyone that's been watching tonight. Brutus Maximus was in the chat. There was a few other people that were in the chat too. So shout out to them as well. Marcus and let me scroll through. Marcus Penrod, Marcus Penrod, Matthew Coop. Big up to all you guys. Big up to Vic Monroe, my brother over there, and shout out to my wife. She's in the other room just chilling. We're about to go watch some. I think we're gonna go watch the latest episode of Atlanta. So we're just gonna go
Nice.
chill and kick it right now. You know what I mean? So other than that, shout out to the world, man. Shout out to everyone out there that's gonna be watching this in the future on YouTube. You know, shout out to you right now watching it. So that's about it. Thank you. Thank you also very much for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. What's up, Vic?
Man, shout out to you guys, man. Boom Bap Chat, man. Thanks for dealing with my crazy connection issues, man. Sorry about that. But,
no, good. It's all good, man. No worries.
Shout out to you guys, man. This is a great, a thing for artists, man. So pat yourselves on the back, man. You know what I'm saying, for that. And we need things, like this. So salute to you guys. Thanks for having us. Shout out to my girl, man. Say for holding me down. Shout out to my kids, man. Shout out to anybody who's ever streamed the Vic Monroe song or anything. DJ, whoever spent it. Shout out to my man Tone Spliff. Shout out to his wife, and shout out to everybody who tuned in, man. Boom Bap Chat. Go get that Words to the Wide, streaming on all platforms.
Get it. And come back next week, next Thursday, for our 100th episode. We have special guests stopping in all night long as we talk about the top 100 native tongue songs of all time. Not that we're going to get through all 100, but that's what we're going to be discussing. And we have some really, really dope special guests that are going to be stopping through. So if you want to be here to check that out and interact with them live in the chat. So on that note, we say peace.
Hey, I got to put my bid in for the song. I was going to say Buddy. Say,
but,
is that your favorite? Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. All right.
I love it. Okay, on that note, we say
Say
peace.
Peace.